What's going on, traders? Welcome to this week's Forex forecast. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're watching this week, and if you want a link to all my charts for daily chart analysis for only $5 CAD per month, there's a link in the description for Patreon. I hope to see you there. All right, first off, looking at the US dollar index, we have rallied from this weekly area of demand, and we are almost contacting this fresh weekly area of supply. So I'd be looking for shorts up in there, and I definitely wouldn't really be buying right about now. In my opinion, it's a little risky. Going to the daily chart in the dollar, watch out. We are in this deeply tested fresh area of supply. And if you go ahead and watch the Euro chart, this opposite area of demand has been removed. And by the way, there's no call reports this week, guys. I apologize, but my Excel files just will not open, so gonna try to get that figured out. But hopefully next week it'll be figured out. So for that, I apologize. But like I said on the dollar, watch out for these areas of supply up here that we will be contacting. This rally could be very short-lived. All right, looking at Euro USD, the same thing on the weekly chart. We are about to come into this area of demand right here, and I'm pretty sure retail traders are shorting the euro a lot, so I'd be very careful shorting around that area of weekly demand. I know a lot of you guys don't really hop on the weekly charts, but I think it's very important. And like I said on the dollar, there is some sort of demand right here on the euro, but that's actually broken on the euro, so that could be a sign that the US dollar index supply zone does break, so we could actually realign to down here. Where price is going to go on the euro right now, it's really tough to tell. If you want to take some day trades, right now I see the daily is in a downtrend. So is the 4 hour, and so is the 1 hour. So looking for 1 hour shorts is actually okay in my opinion. So I'm actually going to set an alert at this 1 hour supply zone and look for a 5-minute momentum shift in this area. Even though I could expect price to actually start to turn around and break that, then we'd have that uptrend in the 1 hour. But right now, the euro is definitely decent for shorting opportunities. If you want to wait till this 4 hour zone, that might actually be better. There's a nice 4 hour zone that could be used for day trading right here. You could take that as a set and forget as well, a little risky, but I'm just pointing out what I'm talking about. And for anybody that's interested in the Patreon membership, check that out, patreon.com/mastermind trading group. Link is in the description. You basically get a chart link to all my zones where you get all my updated charts daily for only $5 CAD per month. And I recently added a new one for $10 CAD per month, where you can send me requests 3 times a week to do any chart, any stock, any Forex pair, any market essentially, and I will do that. So it's more of a custom analysis Patreon membership. So check that out, and there's also a YouTube membership button as well. So all right, taking a look at Aussie dollar, AUDUSD this past week. Price has actually penetrated very deep in this weekly supply zone, so I am expecting this to break. We do have some sort of supply, that was a demand zone. We do have some sort of demand right here like that, which we could see a reaction from, but I wouldn't expect that to hold. Going off of the lower time frame charts, looking at the daily time frame, we have that daily in that nice downtrend. We can actually adjust our trend line right now, so we have that daily downtrend, which is a very nice downtrend. So looking for shorts is fine. It might be a little late in my opinion, but if you want to look at this time frame here in this daily, we still have a little room. It's a little nerve-wracking selling right now, because what we could see is something like this, and then it pushes up but then breaks down. But you know, if you're on the lower time frames like the 1 hour, the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, you could get stopped out. So I'd be very cautious shorting. If you are going to short, I would probably wait till at least this 4 hour supply zone right here, where you could look for that 15-minute shift in momentum. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my confirmation video. It's in my supply and demand trading tips videos. And there's actually a new 1 hour zone right here that could be decent too. There's also one there I missed for the Patreon members, but a lot of shorting opportunities here, but I probably would look for confirmation in any of these zones if you do decide to take them. All right, looking at GBPUSD, the British pound, the past week, this trend line on the weekly chart has now been tested. So I'd be careful buying here. You know, trend lines don't really work the best for trades, so I'd be very cautious. We could actually see some sort of trap and then move to the downside. We do have some sort of demand right here. It's not the best demand, but it has held up price before, so I would watch out for that. Going to the daily time frame, we are now in this tested area of demand. So I wouldn't even personally be looking for longs in this area, but if you are, I would wait for 4-hour confirmation. And if we go to the 4-hour chart, it's going to be pretty tough to get because there's really no supply zone till up here. So you'd really have to start to see this turn around like that before going long. And then, for shorting too, I wouldn't really be shorting because we're in this daily demand. When I'm the signal for me to go short is when this daily demand has been removed. So I'm actually going to alert myself right there. When this daily demand does get removed, then to me, the profit margin on the downside is huge, right? We could get a huge move down to this weekly area of demand here. This is not going to hold in my opinion, but there's actually a monthly demand zone right here. If you can see it on my dotted lines, that's where I think we could be heading. So very nice potential shorting opportunities here if we can get them. Just need to wait, like I said, for that daily area of demand to be removed before getting in short. All right, looking at USDJPY, this is my second time recording this part because my computer is just not having it with me today. Can't get the call reports open, can't get anything to save. It's just not a good day for this crappy Apple Mac computer. Don't ever buy one of those. Anyways, we're coming up to this where we're testing this weekly supply again. That's been tested once back in March 2020 and then once again in April of this year. And now we're coming in for that third test. So not the best weekly supply zone, but we're actually in this fresh daily area of supply. I've talked about this for a while. I've talked about this since we were down here that I was waiting for this daily area of supply. So now that we are reacting off of it, and as you can see, we've got a nice reaction so far, some very big red candles here. So what I'm waiting for on the 1 hour is for a shift in momentum to the downside to give me evidence that the banks are stepping in short. I wish I had my call reports too, but as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I can't get that open either. So it's hard to go off of what's going on in the call reports. Hopefully they're adding to their shorts, but I would like to, can't even do this right now. I would like to see this zone break. I already have my alert here, and to me, something like this, a drop like that would signify that they are going in short. Then I'll start to short pullbacks to the downside, and there's just a lot of profit margin. In my opinion, price could come down to this daily area of demand down here, or even to 109.5. So definitely watch out for that on the USD yen. All right, on to USDCAD. The past week, price rallied very big with all of the rest of the US dollar pairs. This is a weekly chart. I wanted to point out this weekly supply zone. It's really not the best zone. It didn't really remove anything in the past, but it's definitely a supply zone that we could see some sort of reaction off of. But I actually expect the USDCAD to go up to 1.27. Then we will see that downside move. That's, in my opinion, what is going to happen. And I am 100% looking for shorts. Even now, I'm going to look for nice shorts. And what I'm going to be doing, well, first of all, looking at the daily chart here, we still have that downtrend, in my opinion. 2 supply zones have been removed. So some would say we have an uptrend now. But in my opinion, this is not an uptrend. For this to be an uptrend, I'd have to see something like this. Then we could, draw that trend line. But right now we do not have that at all. So in my opinion, this still is somewhat sideways, but definitely an overall downtrend on the daily chart. But like I said before, what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be going to this 4-hour chart. What I hope happens is that we react off of this demand zone, push back up. We'll have a nice trend line like that, something like this. Oh my god, I keep clicking the wrong button. Something like that, and then we could get that nice breakdown and short to the downside. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. But this week and next week, I will definitely be on this 4-hour USDCAD chart a lot, while also monitoring this weekly chart to see, how deep we've tested this weekly area of supply, and then hopefully up to this monthly area of supply. Because if I go to the monthly chart, we have this very nice supply zone here like that. So that's what I think could happen. I think that we could totally avoid this weekly supply zone since it's so close to the monthly and just go right to the monthly, and that would be a better opportunity. But basically, whenever I see this shift in momentum on the 4-hour, I'm hopping in short. So keep an eye out for USDCAD, and that's why you should join the Patreon too, because let's say you watch my forecasts and then you're interested in going short on USDCAD, but you don't know what the best zones are. Maybe you have the charts, they're updating, and then you can find the zone that it's most likely I'm shorting as well. So definitely check out the Patreon for that if you're interested. All right, on to USDCHF, the Swiss franc. This past week, we contacted this weekly area of demand, and we're now rallying very big, but this could be a trap like all USD pairs, right? So like I said, I'd be very careful, even though I am going to be shorting some USDCAD pairs as well. I think this rally is going to be very short-lived. Going to a daily chart, there's really not much going on. We're at this tested area of daily area of supply. Actually, it's not tested, my bad. But price is sideways, so you could be looking for some short positions in this daily area of supply, but in my opinion, it would be safer to wait for price to come up here, because this chart looks a lot like the US dollar index, so it could behave the same way. So I would probably wait till up there, where kind of the other pairs are showing like they could start to show weakness. So it might be best to short other pairs rather than this one and wait for USD Swiss to get up there. As far as that 1 hour confirmation goes in daily area supply, it's going to be tough. We're going to need to see this removed at least, and maybe even see that downtrend. Then we can start to hop on short, because there's not a lot of zones here to be removed like for confirmation. If it was something like that, then a big drop would signify that banks are really stepping in short. But for now, we're going to have to wait to see on these lower time frames if this daily area of demand will hold. But in my opinion, I don't think it will, and I think it'd be safer to actually wait for this daily area of supply, which is located in that weekly area of supply that I was talking about earlier. All right, looking at gold, XAUUSD. We talked about this weekly supply zone. Very nice move down from this weekly supply zone. And if you look at the daily chart, we are, in my opinion, officially in. It's a tough one. We don't have a clear trend line, but in my opinion, this is basically a daily downtrend. We have 3 whole very significant daily demand zones removed, and I talked about how I was going to take this as a set and forget, and luckily I was sleeping when this came up, so I never took this as a set and forget, and there was no confirmation, so I lucked out on that one. I honestly thought this zone would hold pretty well, but clearly the banks are stepping in short, so you could start to look for some short positions, and there's actually a very nice 1 hour zone right here that you could potentially look for a short setup in. I would maybe look for 5-minute confirmation though, since we are in such a big move down. It kind of would make me nervous to just hop in short on the 1 hour time frame. And the problem is too, we'd be kind of going in with this trend line, which is a little nerve-wracking. So you could actually wait for price to realign to this 4 hour area of supply up here, where it'd be probably safer for you to look for 15-minute confirmation in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to set an alert at that 4 hour zone and hopefully get a nice 15-minute shift of momentum to the downside. And then where price is going on gold, in my opinion, it's really difficult to tell. We do have some sort of demand right here, so I'd be very careful shorting gold. That's why I'd kind of wait. But the way this market's behaving is such a deep penetration into this type of zone here, it makes me think that price will not hold this daily area of demand. And right here is a whole monthly area of demand right here. So we're still in this monthly area of demand. So in my opinion, buying is the better option. But right now, I think the banks are just shaking out retail traders. And as far as the daily goes, there's really nothing fresh till down here, and this might not even be fresh. It is fresh, but almost tested. So what we could see is just price starts to randomly just trend up again. Then we could start to get in long. But right now, shorting, in my opinion, is probably the best possible thing to be doing on gold. But where it's going to go is a very tough question. All right, looking at crude oil. Looking at the weekly chart, very clean uptrend. We are almost at contacting this weekly area of supply that's very fresh. As you can see back here, it's a very nice supply zone. So I'd be very careful buying oil up here. As you can see, price is already starting to reverse a little bit on the lower time frames. We'll pull those up in a minute. So if you do get in long, profit margins really only to $74 a barrel. Looking at the daily chart, what I'm hoping is that price realigns to this daily area of demand. I already have my alert there, where I definitely will be looking for, as long as that weekly area of supply has not been contacted, I will look for 1 hour confirmation in this daily area of demand down here. But looking at the lower time frames, like the 1 hour, it's already turned around in my opinion on the 1 hour. We do have that downtrend on the 1 hour reacting off of supply. On the 4-hour too, we're reacting off that 4-hour area of supply. Very messy area of supply, but supply it is. So like I said, it's good news so far if you want to buy pullbacks on oil, which in my opinion, I think oil is going a lot higher than, $75 a barrel. I think it's potentially going to 100 in the long term, for reasons I'm not going to get into. But if you're looking to get in long in this daily area of demand, so far the signs on the 4-hour and the 1-hour are looking very good. That price is going to reverse, so hopefully we get a nice clean pullback with trend lines in the 1-hour where we can get that very nice confirmation to the upside like that, and then we could at least ride for our first target up to 74 $75 a barrel. Alright everyone, thanks again for watching this week's Forex forecast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well if you don't mind. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're looking at this week, and maybe we can get in touch and you can send me a chart and let me know what you're looking at. I always like looking at charts. So with that being said, let's have a great trading week and let's make some money. Cheers.